A genius scientist accidentally found himself locked out of his own life and was reborn in the Joseon era, traveling back hundreds of years through space and time. Fortunately, in his new life he was born as the crown prince of the Joseon Dynasty, one of the most famous kingdoms in Korean history. In this new world, he disrupted the established order by using knowledge from the future to reform his country. This is the premise of Black Corporation Joseon. The scene opens by showing the gold pen used by Hyang in his study at the Eastern Palace. Hyang finished writing. He rolled up the paper and said, "Okay, it's done now." Hyang hurried to the Hall of Worthies. With a reassuring smile he said, "I'm going to greet you now, Jang Yang-sil." However, when he arrived at his destination, the person he was looking for wasn't there. Yang-sil was at the water clock. Hyang was startled and said, "Oh no." Kasim immediately offered to call Yang-sil, but Hyang paused for a moment and said, "No. It's best we don't disturb him. Let's go to his place right away." Upon arriving at the water clock, Hyang examined the device and said, "Wow, it's huge. So this is a water clock from the early Joseon era." Hyang realized that the device was larger than he had imagined. Suddenly, he noticed someone behind him who looked confused. Hyang turned around and greeted, "Are you the royal advisor, Jang Yang-sil?" The man replied, "I humbly greet your highness, the crown prince." Hyang suggested that he need not be so modest. Then Hyang asked, "I saw you were very agitated earlier. Is there a problem with the water clock?" Yang-sil replied, "Yes, your highness. The king has ordered me to create a more accurate water clock. Although I understand its basic structure, I'm having trouble calculating all those numbers." Hyang smiled slightly, understanding Yang-sil's predicament. He proposed that they create a water clock that's smaller than the current one. Yang-sil said, "I agree, but making one smaller than this I believe is impossible." Without waiting for a further response, Hyang immediately unrolled a scroll containing a new clock design and urged Yang-sil to take a look. Yang-sil unrolled the scroll and was astonished. In his heart, he hadn't expected someone so young to be capable of producing such a design. The design employed a pendulum for movement instead of water, and it even featured a gear wheel. Hyang thought, "This design is too convincing." Noticing Yang-sil's expression, he asked, "What do you think?" With a trembling voice, Yang-sil replied, "Did you really come up with all of this on your own?" Hyang answered, "To be honest, 3 out of 10 parts of this design rely on Western knowledge." In his heart, Hyang thought, "That's 100% knowledge from the 21st century where I come from." Hyang asked again, "Can you do it?" Though hesitant, Yang-sil was eager to try. He hurried off to work on it and left Hyang behind. Suddenly, Yang-sil stopped and said, "I think this will be difficult. At the moment, I'm under His Majesty the King's orders. I apologize, I'll make this clock afterward." Hyang frowned and said, "I'll handle that for you. I'll complete my father's orders so that you can develop the clock I designed." Even though he feared being beheaded by the king if he did so, Hyang reassured Yang-sil not to worry. Seeing Yang-sil struggling to calculate all those numbers on his own, Hyang asked, "Do you know someone who's good at math?" Yang-sil quickly replied, "We have official John Cho from the Ministry of Public Works, official Jong In-ji from the Hall of Worthies, and official Yi Cheon from the Ministry of Justice." Hyang understood every word and promised to resolve it so that Yang-sil could concentrate on researching the new clock concept. A short while later, the crown prince arrived at the palace. The king asked him, "What brings you here?" "I have a request for your father." All the ministers wore worried expressions, for they knew that Hyang was renowned for his ideas that defied conventional logic in those times. Upon hearing Hyang's words, the king began to sweat and asked, "What is your request?" Hyang immediately replied, "Please assign some people for me. I need official John Cho from the Ministry of Public Works, official Jong In-ji from the Hall of Worthies, and official Yi Cheon from the Ministry of Justice. In addition, I also require craftsmen from the armory and Yang-sil." Unsurprisingly, everyone mentioned was taken aback. Then one of the ministers began, "Your Highness, those people?" The king interrupted, "Why are you so surprised? Is there a problem with the people the crown prince mentioned?" The minister explained, "I apologize, but they are the finest talents in their respective departments. Without them, managing state affairs would be extremely difficult. Surely, Your Highness the Crown Prince needs them for something important, yet state matters are also crucial. Hearing this, the king turned to the Crown Prince and asked, "Explain, why do you need them?" The Crown Prince replied, "I want to create an invention that will make Joseon rich and strong." The king inquired, "An invention?" "Yes," the Crown Prince continued. "I currently have a dozen designs in my study, though they only outline the basic structure. That's why I need the best arithmetic minds to calculate everything accurately. Besides, if we all work together, we can create a groundbreaking invention that will spearhead rapid progress in both the prosperity and military might of Joseon." The king responded, "Is that truly what you desire?" Inwardly, he wondered, what exactly is this kid planning to do? The next day at the Eastern Palace, everyone Hyang had summoned gathered and greeted one another. One of them asked Hyan, "Did Your Highness the Crown Prince order you to make a clock?" Hyan replied, "Yes," while showing the scroll design created by Hyang, then proceeded to read from it. It appeared that the design employed a precise clock system to measure a full rotation of the Earth in one day. At that time, Joseon used an irregular timekeeping method, dividing the night into 5 segments rather than the 12 we recognize today. Not long after, the Crown Prince arrived carrying a sheet of paper in his arms. Everyone exclaimed, "We pay our respects to Your Highness the Crown Prince." Yang said, "The current method of timekeeping varies with the seasons. In my opinion, it's inefficient. For the sake of the people, wouldn't it be better to have a clock that's consistent in every season?" One of them replied, "Of course. But why have you summoned all of us here?" Yang smiled broadly and said, "I want all of you to solve this problem." Will they succeed in creating something revolutionary? What lies behind Hyang's smile? And what exactly is written on the sheet of paper carried by the Crown Prince? Stay tuned for the next chapter.